Imagine trusting a doctor and believing you are safe. Imagine sitting in a quiet room, answering simple questions, unaware that your mind is about to be tested without permission. In the early years of the Cold War, fear ruled the highest levels of government. Leaders worried about enemies controlling thoughts, breaking wills, and turning people into weapons. In response, a secret program was born. Hidden behind official paperwork and locked doors, volunteers were recruited under false promises of help and treatment. Some were patients, some were soldiers, some were ordinary citizens who never imagined they were stepping into history. They were told this was harmless research. They were told it was for their own good. What they were not told was the truth. Chemicals were introduced, memories blurred, reality shifted. Doctors observed quietly and wrote notes while lives slowly unraveled. You might ask how this could happen in a nation that claimed to protect freedom. The answer lies in secrecy and fear. This experiment was approved at the highest levels, buried deep within government files. For years, no one outside the program knew what was happening, and by the time questions began to surface, the damage had already been done. As the program expanded, the experiments grew more extreme. Participants returned again and again, trusting the authority of white coats and official titles. Some experienced confusion that never faded. Others lost trust in their own memories. The researchers were not searching for cures. They were searching for control. Every reaction was recorded. Every breakdown was documented. Consent was never properly given. You may wonder why no one stopped it. The truth is that secrecy protected the experiment. Funding continued. Reports were classified. Even families were kept in the dark. Some subjects were moved between facilities without explanation. Others were released back into society, carrying invisible scars. The conflict between science and morality disappeared behind national security claims. A few insiders questioned what was happening, but their concerns were ignored. Power silenced doubt. If stories like this matter to you, and you want to understand how science can be misused, subscribe now and stay with us. The experiment did not end quietly, and the next part reveals how the truth began to crack. Years later, fragments of the program started to surface. Journalists asked questions. Investigations began. Some records were destroyed, but not all. Survivors spoke about confusion, fear, and lives permanently altered. The public struggled to understand how such actions were allowed. Officials defended the program as necessary. Even as evidence mounted, you can feel the tension between accountability and denial. Trust in institutions began to erode. Hearings exposed just enough to shock the nation, but many details were never fully revealed. Families demanded answers. Victims sought acknowledgement. The scale of the experiment became clearer, and the outrage grew. If you want to keep uncovering stories where science crossed the line, subscribe now so you do not miss what comes next. The final part shows how this dark chapter reshaped ethical rules forever. Eventually, the program was publicly condemned. New laws and ethical standards were created to prevent such abuses from happening again. But for many, justice came too late. Lives had already been changed beyond repair. The story circles back to the beginning, to trust placed in authority and the consequences of secrecy. You may ask yourself if something like this could happen again. History shows that vigilance matters. Science holds great power, and without ethics, it can cause lasting harm. MKUltra became a warning etched into medical and political history. If you found this story important, subscribe now for more dark science history and comment below. Do you believe governments should ever be allowed to conduct secret experiments, even in times of fear?